Greetings once again. This is Russ Hatfield, being joined by my higher dimensional twin soul, Kara, who's a member of Ashtar Command. The lessons on astronomy continue with this one on the Photon cloud, channeled through Mark Crocker back in 1994. We call it the Photon Cloud Explained. This is a dissertation from Omal on a subject we covered a lot back then on the photon cloud, and in this lesson, Omal explains in detail just what the photon cloud is and the timeline before it encompasses our planet, which is right now 30 years later. He also debunks many of the false fears the photon cloud had generated with the public. He gives some great reasons to see it as a positive. You can follow our online transcript at the link below of our homepage, centerforascension.org. Please subscribe if you want at the end of this lesson to be alerted to future channeling sessions, editorials from Kara and myself, and lessons from the Center for Ascension. And now, the Photon Cloud Explained.
Okay. Well, on to the next phase then. The photon belt.
Yes.
Currently, there's a lot of information that's on the web that is pretty misleading and most of it false. I'd like to do focus a little bit on that so I could perhaps get that on the web as soon as possible.
Okay.
Just to be entered into it. Now I'd like to get the information going.
Can I interject briefly, please?
Certainly.
All right. There's an awful lot of questions and curiosity about the photon belt. There's an awful lot of misinformation out there.
Oh, yes, most certainly there is.
And there's an awful lot of people who are really, really curious about this. So it is important that we get this information out there and get correct information out there.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Continue, Russ.
Well, what I'd like then basically is a dissertation that I can put on the web.
Okay.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Maestro, music, please. Spotlight. Okay, let me manifest my cane and my hat. Okay, I'm putting on the top hat. I'm putting on the rings. Okay, now let me be serious after this. A little bit of humor. Okay. Now, what is the photon belt? Well, it is an energy field that will gradually, slowly surround your planet. At first, thank you, Jerry. Jerry says that there is information already on the internet that both her and Tia downloaded into Mark's computer that was used last night to start the channeling session.
Right.
That itself should be taken and used
Okay.
at the beginning of the dissertation.
Okay.
Okay, now let us look closely at the photon energy field itself. The idea that it is a belt that will surround your planet is a misnomer. It is more of a cloud, and like clouds, you get gaps and dense areas and thin areas that are not as strong as other areas. At first, you will go through the almost nebulous part of the photon cloud that will have a little effect to start off with. People will be aware of the feeling that something is happening. That is true. What also is occurring is that the spirituality of people is becoming more aware. They are developing their abilities. Their vibrational levels are being brought up gradually, bit by bit, by the energy inflow from the photon cloud. The fact that it will surround your planet almost like a belt is understandable that it would be a misnomer to call it a photon belt. It would be better to call it a photon pocket, because you will be within the cloud as a spherical crystal is within the pocket. But what is occurring on the spiritual level is, as I said, at first, people would feel that there is something happening. I believe Curie called it a building field, like something is building within inside. And at times you will be outside the energy cloud, as it is at the moment just the thin, wispy leading edge of the photon cloud. Later, as you penetrate deeper, and I believe that will happen around about 2014, you will feel more in contact with what has gone before and the possibilities of what is to come. With the development of the abilities, there will be, unfortunately, a start of polarizing between those that are spiritually aware, those that think they're spiritually aware, and those that are not. All three groups will be poles apart. If it was possible to have 3 poles, that is what would occur. Individuals that feel they are aware spiritually, but are not, will present the biggest problem. They will be in the majority, but they will also be the people that will spread lies and dissent and push the 2 groups that could work together, further apart. There are examples of these individuals that occur frequently in daily life. I have received reports about some of them. What occurs is they use whatever media they can, whether it is in your papers, in your entertainment devices, but they will push people away and cause problems. Some of them, in a very odd turn of fate, will try to claim that they have abilities and that individuals that really do don't. But what they actually do is themselves a disservice by saying they have all these abilities and that somebody doesn't. They will actually push the people away from them towards the people that really do, but they claim that do not. I think this should be enough for you to start off with.
Okay.
Or do you wish more?
No, I'd like to address now some of the more fantastical aspects of what's been out there.
Okay, 5 Days of Darkness? No. Ice Age? No. Let me see. Volcanic activity increase? No. No, definitely not increase in earthquake activity, although it might be entertaining to buy some beachfront property and sell it to those people that believe so. No, that one won't happen either. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
That's all right.
The pole shift, no, that does not contribute to it. Okay, let us hear the rest of yours before I start going, no, that's impossible, no.
Our space-time, our space and time will be altered, and our system will be possibly hurled into a higher dimension.
Sorry, I find that very unlikely. Next one.
Okay. We will utilize all energy on Earth. Batteries and electrical will all be reduced to nothing, null and void, and we will now have to learn how to use photon energy instead.
That one actually does have a ring of truth in it.
Really?
Yes. But the fact that the energy will be drained is wrong. Photon energy will be learned how to be used and harnessed. But this will be used in an odd sort of way. Cold fusion in the next 20 to 30 years will become a reality. With code fusion comes the ability to create an inexhaustible supply of energy. In turn, you will be able to create artificial photons.
It will last 2,000 years.
That is close to the truth as well. It is just an extra 0 photon.
There'll be it'll affect us in our gravitational fields.
No.
All of our molecules and atoms will get excited.
Yes, but in an odd sort of way. The feeling of building. Molecules and the atoms, not as such. Certain molecules and atoms within individuals' spiritual fields will get excited.
Okay, so it'll want to alter consciousness.
I believe that is a yes, but it is not the consciousness of the mind they're talking about. It is the consciousness of the inner self. Those, as I stated, that do have ability will become more consciously aware.
All right. And the one you read my mind on, Intergalactic Federation has put ship in position to lessen the effect and fix the ozone hole in the first hours of entry.
It's on the
whim. I gotta put it out here, okay?
My sentiments exactly, Johnny.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
All right. Okay. Increased solar flares.
Yes, but that is not due to the photon cloud.
Okay.
That is just a normal, natural cycle.
Alrighty. Temperature changes or
again, that is a normal, natural cycle of your planet.
okay. Now, I want to go on to the physical aspects that are present, that are being felt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on a personal note, and that is, in fact, feeling the pressure building, sort of like atmospheric pressure almost, in the mornings. An increase in astral travel ability, increased coercive faculties,
An increase in gifts, as Thea and Kiri put it last night,
right? And personal life changes.
Personal life changes cannot be attributed to the photon cloud.
Okay. Now then, can we determine what part of the day we are experiencing the photon particles within as we go through them?
Yes, you will feel the difference at particular junctures of the day. As your planet passes or the photon cloud passes over you, it depends if it is passing on the left side or the right side of your planet, the light or the dark side, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. You will feel it as it flows over you.
And it'd be, let's say, once every 24 hours then?
Sometimes more, sometimes less to start off. The closer you get to actually entering the cloud, the more often the occurrences will be. It is like watching an aircraft flying into a cloud. Sometimes you see it because there is a hole in the cloud. Sometimes you don't.
Okay. So we'll be fully into it by 2014.
Correct.
So we'll be approximately halfway through it, about 2005.
Halfway towards full immersion, yes.
Now, will this have anything to do with the predictions. His predictions will have a visible effect upon what's going to be going on.
It is really hard to say exactly how the majority of the people are going to be affected by this photon cloud. The last time they did pass, there was already the occurrence of great disarray before the energy field arrived. In some parts of your planet, when it came, those disruptions were lessened. In other parts, it was intensified. So it is really hard to say how it will affect the majority of the people. Some of the people will react in different ways. Some will act in fear. Some will act out of surprise. Some will act out of shock. They will be all different reactions. It is really hard to say exactly what will happen. It is one of those factors that we try to plan for, but we cannot fully predict.
Okay. Now, I've heard two reports on our passage of our Earth through the cloud. One is 24,000 years, and one is 12,000 years. 12,000 due to the fact that it takes twice. You can go through it twice every 24,000 years, so it's every 12,000 years. Which is the actual number?
Neither, actually.
Oh, well, this will be good for that. What is the actual number?
Okay. You go through approximately every 36,000 years.
Ah, that makes a difference.
If you add the two numbers together, what do you get?
36,000. Now, at the point of Earth's history that it went through last time, we're at the waning days of Atlantis.
Correct.
So that situation was already on the way out anyway.
Correct.
And the cloud merely polarized various parties involved.
Correct.
Leading to its final goodnight kiss.
That is not way of putting it, but yes.
Yeah. Comes up with a spot like that. Alrighty. Now, there is a channeling that says that it will stabilize our weather patterns.
Again, it is one of those factors that we really do lack information on. Certain personnel that visit the base have more information than I have at my hands. I am more concerned with what is going on your planet. The last time I watched with anxiety as these events occurred. It was not the first time that I have witnessed these events when they occurred in the waning days of Atlantis. When it happened the first time that I witnessed it, it was not so as intense. So this time I watched things with trepidation, wondering if it will be a repeat performance of Atlantis or the earlier visitation. It is really hard for me to say. So watching and waiting is all that we really do at this time, unless higher personnel wish to let us know exactly what is going on.
John, do you want to interject anything just yet?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to get into more of the physics of this photon cloud or patch. It is something that our planet and solar system passes through.
Yes, it is not a visible cloud. It is an energy cloud that is made up of various photonic particles that react to each other in an agitated state, creating an enhanced energy field, which, if you were to condense it into a visible form, would appear like a shimmering mist that you can see through. The way that it works is that each photon is bouncing off of each other photon, which is creating energy bursts that can be felt.
does our galaxy, through its travels, pass through it, or is it part of our galaxy that our solar system passes through?
It is part of your galaxy. If it was something that your galaxy passes through, it would be a once only until the contraction occurs, and then it would pass through it again. But the fact remains that it is part of your galaxy in its rotational pathway.
And in our rotation through our galaxy, the solar system passes through this photon cloud about every 36,000 years.
Pretty much so. It is not exactly 36,000 years.
Right. Yeah, well, I used the correct term. I said about.
Correct. It varies in difference between 500 to 100 years.
Does the size of the cloud vary?
Yes, it does. It is not. It is the same cloud that was passed through, but because of the rotation of your galaxy, it increases and decreases with certain cycles generated in the heart of your galaxy. These circumstances which increase and decrease the size vary wildly with energy pulses from such things as pulsars, quasars, and supernovas, and also black holes. The more energy that is given off by these objects that interact with a black hole of a interesting size depends on the size of the photon cloud.
Does it affect? I mean, I realize it affects the whole solar system. Does it affect the other planets as much as it affects Earth?
It depends on the gravitational field and also the organic matter upon those planets.
Is there life, other life, in the solar system besides the planet Earth?
I really can't answer that at this time.
I didn't think so.
It was worth a try once.
Yeah.
Okay, last questions, please.
Okay. Was the first time that you witnessed this Lemuria?
No, it was after, actually. If you do the mathematics, you will see where and when it was. Johnny?
Yeah, back to the photon belt and our solar system passing through this. I would assume, and let me know if I'm correct, that other solar systems and other galaxies experience very similar things.
Yes, they do. Sirius, for example, will be entering it in approximately, or reaching your stage in approximately 30 to 50 years. Alpha Centauri, shortly before that. Other galaxies, we really can't give you that much information on, as they are outside our sphere of influence. But I would assume so from research expeditions that have spent an enormous amount of time and energy traveling from one galaxy to another and returning.